The New York Times put out its list of the 100 greatest films of the 21st century, but we're not going to watch 100, we're going to watch the top 30. So join us on this journey as we watch 30 films in 30 days. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Cinematic Trinity in our series where we're watching 30 films in 30 days. And today we are talking about Tu Mama Tambien.
That's close enough.
That's pretty good. The Mexican language film made by Alfonso Cuaron. Oh no, I messed up that pronunciation. Alfonso Cuaron, who made Prisoner of Azkaban. Mm-hmm. Very different film, this one, compared to that. It follows...
Understatement of the century.
Yes, definitely is, we'll go into. It follows these two boys who set off on this adventure, this journey with this 20-something-year-old woman who sort of comes into their lives. They go into a beach, aren't they? And they find a lot about themselves along the way.
It's a nice way of putting it, I think. That was
as they try to pursue her, obviously.
Essentially.
Yeah. Very...
Shall we see what the New York Times has to say about it?
Yes.
Cuaron shoots sex the way his characters feel it. Hot, all-consuming, the weight of the world just off camera. Like youth itself, we stumble out of the film, blinking, disoriented, sifting through memories like sand strewn with gold. Doesn't that just sound lovely? And somebody called Lulu Wang, who's a director, said, I can't even count the number of times I've seen this film. Initially, I think I connected with the boys and their sense of freedom and escapism. And as I've gotten older, it's more about connecting with the woman and her journey and what she's seeking. Which I think that actually the way that she's put it is actually probably more accurate. You know, there's two sides to it. You know, what the boys as they're like growing up and coming of age and learning about themselves, and then her story is like very different. You know, and it's almost like she's trying to capture what the boys are like, kind of like growing up, and she's almost trying to like regress and be like, I just want to be like young and carefree and not give a crap about anything that's going on, you know. So interesting.
It's very interesting. It's just so explicit is what like catches you off guard from the offset. It's very like just full of sex and just very these two teens.
We know
like
what explicit is.
Yes, all right. But like these two teens, like that is their lives, isn't it?
It's almost like watching an episode of The In-Betweeners. You know, like just the way they speak. Maybe not quite so.
I think it's quite J, are they from The In-Betweeners? But no, like they're very like immature in their ways, and they do need to grow up, and that's kind of like what the point of the film is them like discarding unhealthy habits, and finding themselves.
What did you think of it, Kieran? Because we didn't watch it with you.
No, it was well. I mean, from what I kind of watched and what I read up online, apparently this is like a very, very prominent film in like very much Mexican culture, but like kind of around the world as well. Because it's like lots of people saying it's talking on lots of like social, political issues, and then there's like kind of like a class divide thing because Tenoch is like upper class, and then Julio is like kind of middle class. Kind of like trying to be as like close friends as possible, but like it's very difficult with that class divide to actually kind of make things work. And then like lots of themes about like actual like true friendship and like relationships and sex and lots of stuff that it kind of talks about but doesn't talk about. It's very implied. And like also like kind of the voiceovers as well, where it's giving like context of like the different things that happen, like kind of help you kind of be cemented in this kind of world that they're exploring. And like lots of things, there's that bit where they're going through somewhere and there's like a memory that they're saying like Tenoch would never share this with anyone. Like this is a very personal memory. And it's just like it's like a really kind of I've not seen it in another film, like a very unique approach to those kind of relationships and friendships. And
what did you think about like the narration, like being, because it just initially it's very jarring because like all sound cuts out and then it comes on like it's a good few seconds of silence.
We thought that something had happened. Like for that split second we were like, what's happened?
Yeah.
And then the narration starts, we were like, oh, is it going to keep doing that?
And it did.
But it did. But
Yeah.
it made more sense, and I was enjoying, you know, the kind of extra context that I was getting.
Yeah.
In that way, like actually it was quite nice to just have just a little bit of background.
My favourite bit was like, because obviously you get used to it at a point, and it's when the pigs come on, and I was like, it went on, I was like, don't tell me, it's because say one of the pigs got killed, and then it did, and I was just like, great, okay.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, like the kind of deadpan delivery of like the narrator, like just how there's no real emotion from him, he just kind of says it as it is. It's like, this pig later went on to get slaughtered and turned into sausages. It's like, okay, cool. But what do you think about like the performances in the film?
Yeah, I thought they were brilliant.
It's very natural.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was just watching like a snippet of these people's
Yeah,
lives.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what it felt like. I think that they were brilliant, and I think that I keep moaning about how much I hate subtitles and watching things with subtitles, whether they're in English or not. Like, it doesn't have to be because it's in another language and I'm watching subtitles. I just can't do it, even if it's an English film. But I found that by the end of it, I'd forgotten that they were speaking in another language, and I still felt just as connected as if they were speaking my language, you know? And I had the same with another film on this list, which we haven't watched yet, but we've obviously seen before, so, you know, we'll get to that later, so I can't really tell the full story. But anyway, I felt the same with that. But it's just a testament to the actual performances and what's happening on screen and, like, the script and stuff like that. It all, like, really, like, draws you in, and it does feel very natural. It feels real, you know, and it's very grounded.
Yes.
You know, it's not trying to be anything more than just real life, you know.
And you could still like laugh and find it like sad and stuff at points, like when they go to the bar and it's just them like doing all the different toasts and stuff to like random things. You just keep laughing with them, and like their arguments and all that kind of stuff, and just the dialogue between them is all very like, just you can still laugh with it. You're not being taken out of it because it's so natural. And even just like them talking about sex in the car, like what's the lead character woman's name? Louisa. Yeah. Yeah, when she's because of Encanto, that's all I could remember. Louisa. When she finds the doll, I was like, Louisa, yeah. Like again, like her interactions with these two just feels like so natural to watch, and like again, it's like you say, it's almost like you just strapped a camera inside a car and just followed random people around the country. It's all very well acted, and you just, I think like the beginning half an hour I did struggle with a bit to like get into it, but when like I think the road trip starts, I'm like, I'm in for the, like I'm into it now. Like when it's kind of setting up like their friendship and like all that kind of stuff, like the party they go to meet Louisa for the first time, I was a bit like, what's going on here? Like I think me and you were both a bit like, where's this leading? Yeah. And then it kickstarts.
I think it's interesting because a lot of these films we've gone into, we've said that the first half an hour or something has been quite boring, but I think it's because we've gone in and we've known absolutely nothing about these films. Like I sat down and watched this film, I had no idea what the plot was, who the main characters were, what was going to happen. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen, but normally you might have seen a trailer or read something or watched some reviews, so you can kind of get a feel for what might happen. Whereas a lot of these, we've just gone in completely blind. So it's like they're not attempting to draw you in that first half an hour. It's just setting up the film, you know, essentially. So it's interesting that we keep finding those bits boring when we know nothing about the film. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that's like a kind of like a result of like kind of cinema today, where it's always like bang bang bang, like we want to be like constantly I mean, focused on this rather than telling.
I wonder for this one, because it starts like immediately with just sex, like literally the first scene is just two.
Well, surely that should grip you from the start.
But
Michael.
I think because I don't think I've watched a film quite like this where it's like so integral to like the story, you know, like that kind of thing. It's not just like here's a sex scene, you know, it's all about it. So when you watch it, kind of like, what is the gimmick of this film? Also, it being Alfonso Cuaron and like me only knowing him for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, I'm just like, what the hell? How do you go from making that to making wholesome Harry Potter?
Also, Prisoner of Azkaban, like the dark, it's very different from the other films, and you can kind of see that.
It's interesting, like the cinematography in that film versus this film, because this is very like basic stuff. Like whereas like Harry Potter and like Prisoner of Azkaban is when it like goes into a mirror and it comes like a reverse shot, and there's all like the lovely like scenery and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a very well shot movie, and not to say this one isn't, but like it's more basic and
Noticeably
grounded
good.
in like this way compared to Harry Potter. So that was a bit like, oh, I can't believe you made the same film. This is kind of taking me out of it a bit. But then once you settle into it and kind of know, oh no, this is like the theme, or like this is the running thing with Julio and Tenoch, that's their whole thing. I got into it, but initially, I was a bit like, whoa, this is very like, what is this film? Is this just smut? What's going on? You know?
Yeah. Well, I suppose you can kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable, can't you, with stuff like that? Like if you're not, and then it becomes like normal what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But I mean, it's not that bad. Like it's not like, yeah, it's not that bad really. Like,
I mean, if you think about it, it's like, you know, like a stereotypical like teenage boy, like they're having like their banter and they're talking
yeah.
I
It's
think
just
she's
like
really
if
fit
you were
kind of
watching
thing,
if you were
yeah.
watching Superbad or if you were watching The Inbetweeners, it's just the same kind of humour.
But then there's
teenage
like the
boy.
difference in culture from
Yeah.
the Mexico rather than
Exactly.
That might be, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it was really surprising. Like it was nice to just watch something that's just good and like honest. You know, I don't think it's like, I think some of the other films are like trying really, really hard to be poignant and clever and stuff like that. And I didn't feel like this film was. I feel like it was just so natural that, I mean, they probably were trying very hard, but it doesn't like feel like the message is being rammed down your throat or anything like that, or it doesn't like linger too long on stuff to make sure that you feel it or whatever. It's just it's very natural. So I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it as well. I think we all enjoyed it. Is the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not another miserable. Especially like again, foreign language films can go either way. It can either be something that doesn't connect with you, or you can connect with it and really like it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's one of the greatest films of the 21st century?
I mean, yeah. I wonder if this film was in English and it was like made by, you know, the Americans or the Brits or whatever, you know. Would we rate it as highly?
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of the charm, I find.
Yeah.
Because it kind of gets not whitewashed, but kind of whitewashed in a way that you lose a lot of like the original message and like the kind of passion that made it so good. And then when you transfer it to America, it's the same as what happened to Old Boy. Which is like the original Korean version was like, you know, an incredible film. You're like, and then like they Americanized it and it was just like so much worse. It just really didn't capture the same passion at all.
Yeah, plus it's also like director style, isn't it? It's like you could have got even if you got like Alfonso Cuaron to make it in English, like would it have still been as good, or is it the Mexican like culture and the Mexican language that makes it as good as it is?
Yeah.
What do you mean like a shot for shot film with the exact same actors, the exact same things, but just
they
they're
were
speaking
talking
English?
in English. Yeah.
I think it'd just be weird. Because then you're not as like in the actual place. Because
I know. Well,
don't get,
right, not
like,
a shot-for-shot
absorbed into
remake,
it.
but
You don't
they're
mean,
still
like-
going to a beach. But let's say they were driving through Devon and they were going to a beach and it was English
Oh,
people.
yeah.
and-
That'd be a very different film. It'd be raining constantly.
Isn't that
But
just
you
the
know
salt
what
path?
I mean?
Though? Is that not just the salt path?
Shut up. Don't want a salt path reference in here. But yeah, I just don't know whether it'd be, as you say, like charming or anything like that. Like I'd probably just be like cringing like the whole time. There's something about it being in a different language that,
It would probably feel like an In-Betweeners episode. And like,
Yes.
they'd just be like,
It'd
And-
probably
and
lean
for
too
us-
much on comedy.
For us, that like the In-Betweeners is something that's very funny because we can relate to a lot of the things.
Yeah.
It is very natural and like, you know, obviously funny and exaggerated in parts, but it's very natural for us. I feel like that's the same thing for like the Mexican people, like watching this film. They'd be like, "Oh my god, yes! Like I did this." Or they watched this film and they're like, "Okay, we're going on a road trip."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like they went out to live and experience, and that's the kind of idea they got from this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that if they made it in English or they made like an English version in America or England or anywhere, I just don't think it would land.
Yeah.
So,
I also
they
don't
wouldn't.
think we're as like not free and easy because you know there's a reason why they can go and do that, but like you know that it'd just be like some like old hippie or something, you know, and I'd be like, oh God, like you're just, you know, you're going on a road trip and I hate you because that's the kind of person you are, you know, whereas because it's like, I don't know, there's just something about it. It wouldn't be the same if it was a British or an American story.
No, because it's also like, because it does, like Kieran said, it does like class divide and all that kind of stuff. Like it works in like a place like Mexico because I guess there is it. Not to say it's like more traditional or like ancient sort of thing, but it does feel like you can see the class divide between.
Well, yeah, there's
like,
it's just a very different
country.
culture.
Yeah.
Well, also this like that came out like 24 years ago, and Mexico then to Mexico now is like entirely different. They're very much like, you know, step, you know, they're very much in the same kind of time that we are, especially in the 60s.
It's almost like your traditional one where it's like there's like an El Presidente and then there's like the lower class sort of thing, like the Mexican.
I think it's more obvious. Kind of like a lot of British culture is trying to hide what kind of class you are. Whereas it's quite obvious over there because poverty is much more, I don't know, evident. I don't know the full like kind of political.
We're not experts.
You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not one to comment on anything like that. But you know, it's very it's nice that they touch upon those kind of themes without kind of ramming it down your throat. It's very subtle, but it's also very implied.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think in short, I'd say it's one of the greatest films of the 21st century. Maybe this ranking is fine where it is at the minute, but I think again, particularly maybe for like that like kind of cinema, like Mexican cinema, maybe something coming out of there and telling a story that we wouldn't see otherwise, like is very interesting to see. So I think I'd say so. Would you agree?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And what are our scores for it?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
I did a 9.
I'm also gonna say a 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad now.
You just don't appreciate Mexican cinema.
Shut up.
You're uncultured. You want it to be in English, right?
No, I think I've just clearly said that I don't. But yeah, I gave it an 8 on the TikTok, so I can't go back on that now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know why I gave it an 8.
I don't know whether it's, again, maybe that first half an hour for me, like just docks at one point, but like on the whole, it's a very enjoyable
Well, I think
experience.
what docks at a point for me is I'm probably not going to watch it again, and that's purely because it's in another language and I can't be bothered to sit through it. I'm going to have to learn Spanish.
No subtitles.
Yeah, just get someone to do a dub for you.
Especially with a language like Spanish. Like, if something is in French, which not many things are, but if something's in French, then I can kind of pick up the odd word, you know? Whereas something that's in a language that I don't know, it's like, I'm just lost.
What we'll do is I'll pay the guy who played Jay from the In-Betweeners. I'll give him the script and I'll say, can you play Julio? And I'll get someone else from the In-Betweeners to play. Just get the In-Betweeners cast to play everyone in the film, just dub, and then
just completely ruin it.
Get Will to play.
Yeah.
Insert wait, get Will to be who?
Louisa.
No. I'll say get Will to be the narrator.
Yeah,
actually, to be fair.
So maybe. But
anyway, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was our review for Tu Mama Tambien.
Tu Mama.
Wow.
And your mother too. Yeah. Is what it means.
Yeah, which is a kind of a nod to a joke in the movie. But that was our review. Have you guys seen it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you in the next episode.